The following is Fall 2008 Math 125 Department Final. In this video, I will do number 12 and number 13. Number 12, find the inverse function of fx equals to 9 minus 3x. Now, let me review a little bit what we will do to find inverse function. The first step I will change fx to be y. Second, I will swap x and y. This is actually the inverse happens because inverse actually inversing x becomes y and y becomes x. But then in between, in the end, we need to rewrite the y after we swap that as f inverse x. Okay. Now anyway, come back here. We will swap x and y, and then we will solve for y. And finally, we change the y to f inverse x. Okay. So the fx, as usual, we call that y. Now the second step, we swap x and y, and then after that we solve for y, which was x before. Okay. Now this y is then the one we change to f inverse x. Now let's go back here, apply what we learned. In step 1, I will change the fx becomes y. In step 2, I will swap x and y. Y becomes x, x becomes y. Okay, in the third step, I will solve for y, and in this case, it will be subtract by 9, so negative 9 plus x equals to negative 3y, and then I will divide by negative 3. Negative 9 plus x over negative 3 equals to y. No, hold on, this is not step 4 yet. I'm still solving for y. And then let me divide by negative, so on the top I will have 9 minus x on the top over 3 equals to y. Now in my step 4, this is the real step 4, and f inverse x equals to 9 minus x over 3. Okay. Yes, where I replace the y by f inverse x. Now from here we see the answer is D. Okay. Number 13, sketch the graph of hx equals to the opposite of x minus 4 quantity squared. Now, the standard procedure of doing graphing is to find the y-intercept and to find the x-intercept first. Okay, now let's do that. The first one, let's find the y-intercept, and the y-intercept will be obtained by setting x equals to 0, right? h naught equals to negative of 0 minus 4 squared. That's negative of negative 4 squared. You have multiplication, you have exponent comes first, so negative 16, right? And therefore the y-intercept is 0, negative 16. Now from here we see that we need to disqualify A and B. Is it right? Oh, actually we are done. We know that this will be the answer because this is the only option with y-intercept negative 16. But instead of just answer that way, let's move on a bit further. The second thing we will do is to find the x-intercept, and the x-intercept will be obtained by setting the y equals 0. Now in this case, then hx, which is our y, now becomes 0 equals to negative of x minus 4 squared. Okay, that's the one that I set to be 0. but 0 equals to negative of x minus 4 quantity squared. That implies x minus 4 equals to 0. I hope you can see what I'm trying to say. And therefore x equals to 4, right? In other words, the x-intercept is 4, 0 only. That again confirms that C is the answer. Okay, notice that part B also gives you the same x-intercept. Okay, now the third things we can say by intuition. You remember that if we have hx equals to in this case is negative of x minus 4 squared, if the coefficient of this is negative, then we know that it will be upside down parabola, right? Okay, if that were positive, then it will opens up. Now, but because this were negative, we know there will be either C or D. Now, in other words, if I only did the y-intercept, I get the answer right away. If I didn't do the y-intercept, I do the x-intercept. By x-intercept, I know that it will be B or C. And then for the upside down parabola, we know it will be C or D. Then we know either B or C and C or D. Well, from there we conclude it will be C, right? Okay, but I'm not teaching you here to answer multiple choice. I'm answering this to give you a feeling on what the graph's supposed to look like. Okay, now there's one more thing I would like to say, and I think this is one of the most important one, is to understand the standard form, not general form, the standard form of parabola, the graph of a parabola, something with x squared. If you have a times x minus b squared, I think I should use h here, plus k, then we see that if a is positive, it will open up, right? If a is negative, it will open down, right? Second, the vertex, which what I'm trying to say here, is h comma k. Okay, now in this case, if we rewrite this question, hx equals to negative x minus 4 squared plus 0, from here we know that it will be upside down because this is negative, and second, the vertex is 4, 0. Okay, so using these two informations, we know the answer will be part C already. Okay, even more, the axis of symmetry. That will be x equals to h in this case. Okay, then here the axis of symmetry is x equals to 4. Okay, what else can we say? The domain and the range, the range, of course it depends on is it open up or open down. If it is opening up, if the A is positive because it opens up, then the range will be from h going to infinity. But if the A is negative, then the range will be from negative infinity to h. Okay, now in this question we see that it will be upside down, right? Okay, then the range will be from negative infinity up to 0. Okay, as you can see here, this will be the graph. But try to analyze this graph. The axis of symmetry is x equals to 4. The vertex happens to be the same to the x-intercept, which is 4, 0. This is the axis of symmetry. And then the range is from negative infinity all the way up to 0, which is the I'm sorry, it's supposed to be a k here, which is the k down there. It's supposed to be k. Please correct that. Okay, but I believe I did it right here. Okay, from negative infinity up to 0. Okay, now this is for fall 2008, Math 125, Department Final number 12 and number 13.